RussHess.com, Open Talk with Russ Hess. Hey, just wanted to let you know we are here at Indian Point Park in Corpus Christi, overlooking the Corpus Christi Bay right behind me. And this is just a beautiful place. It is wetland, so there's birds and there is just pockets of water here and there and all about. Again, it overlooks the bay and it's near the highway, so it's pretty easy to get to. Just wanted to go over with you some of my progress in my financial freedom quest. I'm doing pretty good. We are now kind of in between paydays. I've switched over to my fourth credit card. I'm working on that. That is getting a significant amount of my attention right now. I do have allotted about 2 months to clear this particular debt. It is rounding about right now around $1,600, so it should be about 2 months before I can clear that out completely. I have a few other challenges that I'm going through that I'll share with you later, but there's a couple things I wanted to address, and that is, one thing that you need to pay attention to when you're trying to clear your debt is your motivation on how to clear that debt. Maybe not so much on how, but absolutely your motivation. So debt, and I have often discovered as I'm trying to do this, is best dealt with when you're really kind of angry about it. How did I get in this debt? How do I get out of this debt? What is it keeping me from? Is it keeping me from having freedom of choice, freedom of making better decisions? Absolutely. And that's the reason why you want to be angry about debt. Thus, the reason you want to be highly motivated on clearing that debt. Another thing is it's also one of the best returns on your money is clearing your debt. To be honest with you, you clear your debt, you're going to clear up cash flow, and you're going to be able to reinvest that money that you're clearing up once you've got your debt cleared. See what I'm saying? It's a win-win, but you got to get to the point where you're not paying that, credit card, high interest rates, and then loans that hold anywhere from, from low interest rate, which pretty much doesn't exist anymore, to higher interest rates. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is you're borrowing money and you're paying somebody for that privilege to borrow money. Okay? Now, to get a savings plan, you can save up those dollars yourself and you can start socking away money. That's the idea. Does that often happen? Well, not necessarily if you're trying to, progress through life and you have ups and downs and emergencies and whatnot. Thus, the reason for emergency fund, roughly $1,000 to start, but notch that up over time. The basics are to try to get yourself away from having to deal with these onslaughts of emergencies, as well as being in a place where you can make better decisions. And you can't do that without a decent savings. You can't do that without having your credit cards paid off, or your high interest rates, or it doesn't matter whatever interest rates, your loans, your credit cards, these things paid off. You're going to continue to be paying that to somebody. You're going to be continuing to pay the fiddler, so to speak. And you really need to get to the point where you're not having that to be reflected upon when you're trying to make good decisions. Again, it'll often free up your time and your ability to make really good decisions. So another thing is credit is bad. You've heard that people say, well, no, having a certain amount of credit is good. Well, good compared to what? Good compared to everybody else that's in debt? So the idea is that there was none of us intended to be in debt except for one, and last I checked, he paid that debt a long time ago. So I don't think debt is going to be, you're not going to win the argument that debt is good. Okay, so you say credit score. Credit score, am I going to increase my credit score? Well, that's a understanding of credit, you know, in opposed to borrowing money. So, feeds my next question. Do you have freedom when you borrow money? You got to pay it back, right? So it impedes your ability to make better decisions. Obviously, it's going to impede your cash flow, and it's going to impede your decision processes when you're trying to do life changes. Say you want to move to another city. Let's say you want to travel. Let's say you want to spend more time with your family. These all are decisions that could be hindered by your ability to pay your credit, ability to pay your payments, you know, to stay up to date with, you know, where you're wanting to go. So really it's a question about, how do I earn extra cash? And, you know, I don't know what your talents are. So hopefully, you know, you have something you can turn into cash. You have talents, you have abilities, capabilities. You know, you got the standard ones that almost anybody can do, and that is, you know, you can mow lawns, you can deliver pizzas, you can sell your plasma at the blood bank, you can, you know, all kinds of things. I'm just throwing out a few. You can tutor students, you can, you know, maybe you know how to teach music, and you can teach somebody how to play the piano or guitar or something like that. Or maybe you can take those musical talents and perform, you know, at weddings and wherever, parties, what have you. Maybe you have a special talent that you can offer and, you know, provide yourself a little bit of an income. All these things are great, but the idea is to open your mind and to be a little bit of an outside thinker, so to speak. I mean, I know it's a term overused, but yes, to be an outside thinking of what you can do, not just boxed in. So I just want to impress upon you that it may take everything that you have and some things that you don't have in order to move forward and clear your debt. You know, to stay focused and be adamant about getting to a place where you can have that financial freedom. Now, does that mean you have to be a millionaire? Not necessarily, but it does mean that having no debt, or at least limited debt in your life, is going to be much more advantageous to you moving forward than it is having boatloads of debt holding you down and keeping you anchored to where you have no freedom. Now, to be honest, that's where you need to be. I want you to be there. I want to be there. And I'm encouraging you to be there with me. So this is Russ Hess with RussHess.com, Open Talk. We'll see you on the next video.